Dear unknown listeners, I would like to tell you some of my experiences about the Earth's transformation process, in effect its update, referring to the last few years. My name is Marko Pogac, and I speak from Slovenia, from my home, not far from Trieste. What do I mean with the Earth's transformation process? I mean a process that I started to perceive at the threshold of the third millennium. Certain unexpected events happened about year 1997 in the late autumn, and since then I start to perceive and follow this process. Who am I to do this? I am Marko Pogac, and I work since 40 years in what is sometimes called ecological healing. I developed several methods. One is I call lithopuncture, which is a kind of acupuncture of the earth with the help of positioning stones in a certain network in the given place with carved cosmograms. Another way that I use is working with groups, open groups at several places where I am invited, using the geomantic knowledge to know the places and to do some working on balancing, deblocating places. This is why I am constantly in touch with the Earth and its beings, being earthly or cosmic, of course, and I developed a certain method of perception so that I am not dependent from the outside facts or ideas. I try to go always from the place as it is, and then through communication with its beings. And this is how I started to perceive at the threshold of the third millennium that there are some basic changes. Something was completely different from I knew it from the 20 years before, being constantly in intense relationship and communication with places. It started with a kind of upside down event when the Earth's aura, like radiation from the ground, in one moment turned upside down and stayed like this for a week. This was the strong beginning. I had a dream first of it. It was in the night. I had a dream first. The dream was saying to me, the reality that you are looking around you does not exist anymore. It is only the memory. So to say, we are living in the memory of how the reality was. And when I jumped out of the bed and went out, I realized that the radiation that I always know, like aura coming from the ground up, let us say, to the level of the shoulders, or nowadays also much lower because of difficulties that ecological difficulties, let us say briefly. So this time it was going into the earth, and a few days, and then it went up again. This made me, the dream and the experience made me to be very conscious, and I, since then, I am, so to say, daily being in touch with the earth and its beings. I do observe, and I see that there are changes. In effect, I did write several books about this to tell. Maybe it needs also to say that I am not a scientist. I am a professional artist, from the 60s. And I see my work with landscapes and cityscapes as a kind of artwork, because in the 60s we learned that art can be anything and anywhere. It is the kind of approach that matters. So in my case, I try to be open, heartfully open, and listen without preconceptions. This is what I bring from art. And in this way I started to perceive, but I would not like now to speak about this long process. Just maybe few words. What my experience is that the Earth, it is not a casual changes or just a reaction of Gaia to what human beings are doing with nature and the Earth. But it is obviously a very clear path, what I called in the title of one of my books, a quantum leap of the Earth, that the Earth is moving to another level of existence. It moves from a narrow three-dimensional space to a pluridimensional space composition in the depths, which means starting from atomic structures and how the living manifested body of the Earth then builds up in a different way as we know it. I had a dream about it already in 1980, and this dream made me first time aware of the great changes coming. And this dream told me that the Earth is going to elevate, make higher her vibration essence, higher. And if people do not relate to the changes and come with the changes, it is dangerous for our life, because we will not be able to stand, to absorb, to continue living on this earth. We will be simply burned out. This is one thing, and the second thing that I got to know is that within ourselves is a system of the heart system, love technology, love technology that is able to lift us together with Gaia to this new level of the future development, which means for the future thousands and maybe billions of years development. What I would talk about this time is about the changes that I observed after the COVID era. I see the COVID era as another threshold that like a message to the humanity as a whole, which says, translated of course, it says that the earth we are living on is in the process of decomposition, of decay. This has no future. You can see around you how this civilization is governing the earth and all beings on the physical plane, and that there is, if we are logical looking at the situation that is between artificial intelligence on one side and cruel wars on the other side, putting this together, this is the end. So what Gaia is doing is creating a completely new Earth body that already in the first years she showed that she activated the four elements like water, fire, earth, air, but this threshold that I'm speaking of shows something else, that the elements start to merge and become something else, like there is not a separate water element anymore and the earth element anymore, but they make a synthesis. So there is a kind of soft material body that is coming into being, which the air element connecting in a special way, very deeply on atomic level with the earth element. It makes a kind of soft physical reality softened. Or what I observe since last year, for example, that the water element and the air element also merge into another kind of synthesis, which means that there is a possibility that our thoughts, our intuitions become directly embodied, not in the matter, but in the water as a hologram. Water is capable, because it is carrier of information, it is possible to embody. And if we put these two together, so we can have a feeling about reality of the new Earth emerging. Then, after the threshold of the COVID era, I noticed, or I experienced in different places, especially in Venice, which is one of my testing places, I observed creating a kind of seeds of new Earth totality, of the new pluridimensional Earth. These seeds, like embryo, are within the old Earth, in different places, like models or matrices that will make possible that this new planet appears in its totality, so with the whole spectrum of the future development that embraces all the 10 dimensions that I know, and I work in this system of the 10 elements. Further, with the war in Ukraine, as next, parallelly started, the Earth started to create another of its spheres. The Earth's body is composed of spheres, if you know, the stone sphere, or the hydrosphere, the water sphere, the biosphere, the sphere of life. And then about 100 years ago we started to know what is called noosphere, the sphere of consciousness, the whole Earth with all the different beings is one consciousness in which we all take place. This is the noosphere. But now, with this last threshold, the Earth started to develop what I'll call the love sphere. I called it, after Greek philein, to love, filiosphere. This is nothing romantic, first of all. It is something very practical. It is a technology that Gaia has. It is a technology or a wisdom how it is possible to create such a body of the Earth, subtle body of the Earth, of course, that is able to put together all the incredible differences and all these 10 dimensions with all their beings put together in such a way that there is no conflict. There is no conflict. But everybody, every essence, every dimension is free to be who she or he, or I don't know, is. So this is not possible logically to imagine that this is possible. But we have an example, and this is nature. There is no war in nature. The nature is living in perfect peace. And this is how I believe, let me say like this, that the love sphere, the filiosphere, was never lost. It seems to be lost with the development of the patriarchal cultures that started to dominate Earth and each other and other beings. And this is what the love sphere cannot stand. So it dissolved. And we are more and more in a space cut into 1,000 pieces and conflicting with each other. But it stayed in nature. Exactly. In the plant world, plants, the trees still embody the love sphere. And what happens in the last time is that their capacity to hold the filiosphere, to leave it to the plant world, their capacity is becoming overall, is becoming a natural dimension of Gaia, of the planet. I mentioned in this connection the Ukraine because the war started few months after I noticed that the love sphere is becoming one of the bodies of the Earth. This war started, and I see it as a reaction, as a kind of mass reaction. The fear that we have to let it go. Thousand things that are our burden, personally and as part of this civilization. We have let it go and start to turn upside down. This is how the transformation started 25 years ago. But now this should happen within the human being. This turned upside down instead of being dependent through our five senses outwardly to the given situation. We should start to feel inwardly, which means at the level of our multidimensional heart system. So what I mean with this, I mean that parallel with the possibility of the love sphere of the earth being more and more present, the same happens within the human being, that there is not just one heart. These are my perceptions. But I speak of the three heart systems. Heart, known from yogic tradition, the heart center, of course, the heart muscle as our individual cosmic heart, and at the right side, a common heart of all beings of different evolutions, especially the humans, we that are embodied, and those that are on the other side, in the world of ancestors and descendants. And then there is down at the solar plexus area the elemental heart, which is the common heart of nature and Gaia, and there is in our head the center that connects us to the common heart of the universe. So there is a new, also connected to the primeval powers of creation, what we call the dragon powers, such a new heart system that in together with emerging love sphere of the earth, then both together, what develops within the human being as a new heart system, in a synthesis between both, there is a real possibility of a great, wonderful, beautiful change that we call the new earth, or yes. So, practically, I would say it is important to get out of the space and time that we know. The space that we orient at is a creation of the human civilization of the last 5,000 years, especially the Renaissance. We would not see houses and trees and in this way if this would not be painted first by the Renaissance masters and then infused into the human consciousness. And the same is with time. The time that we relate to, the past and the future, is human-created time. So we need to open to this more dimensional space, developing our perception in the sense of a greater sensibility, being in the inner touching beings of nature, connecting to these beautiful three giants that still are upon the earth, for example, in such a way it is a schooling of of our perception. On one hand, and on the other side, it starts to get to know our the changes within our body, and understand that the problems that we have with health, and the problems that we have with the ecology of the earth, with changing weather and earthquakes and big waters, fires, and so on, that this correlate, something is going disintegrating, and we need to be at peace while this is going on. And something new it comes into being, but not by itself, like outside, but it happens inside. We are co-creators of these new dimensions. They cannot exist, they cannot be real without that we are part of them. There is a new kind of relationship. The new space is not outside, but is inside of nature, inside of primeval powers of the earth, inside the elemental world, the human, of course, and other worlds, being eternity.